I got to poop.
Kaya corner, you know it's that time of the week. Sit back, relax,
Hey everyone, it's me again for Kaya's Corner, and today I really wanted to talk about something more personal, because even though I'm posting this on June 1st, May is the month for Mental Health Awareness Month, and I really wanted to kind of do something informative, but this is not like a class or anything. I kind of just wanted to speak from my own experiences and hopefully help people. I kind of just want to kick it off by saying mental health is something that's serious. It's something that people do need to talk about. It's something that really does get thrown away to the side, and it's not really fair for it to happen. I guess I'll just start with my story and just kind of lead up into the rest of the day. I guess to start off, I can say I am an only child, so I never really had anyone really there to talk to and to kind of be like my protector, other than my parents, but you know, they had their own lives too. Growing up, I was very independent. That's where how I became who I am today. I'm very strong-minded and just to myself. Growing up in a Black household really kind of does give you that you're strong mentality, so you can't really let anything defeat you or anything bother you. Growing up, it did really kind of shift me a little bit, because my parents would never like to see me cry, like to see me be upset about anything. It was just something that you just weren't allowed to do. You weren't really supposed to do it because you're supposed to be strong. Around the time when I was 8, my parents separated, so I ended up moving with my mom, living with her. And I mean, I was really good until then. Like I said, it was just me and my mom most of the time. Around middle school is when things started changing, I guess. I won't go into my whole life story, but kind of just give you background information. Until middle school, 7th grade, I was bullied. It was something that it was hard for me to deal with, and it was something that I didn't really know how to deal with. So I don't know, I would always cry. I didn't want to go to school. I just no, I don't want to do it. And my parents were just like, you have to be strong. You cannot let people, intimidate you. You can't be scared. It kind of beat me up in the end, because you can't always just be strong about everything. You can't always just be okay. It's okay to not be okay. I was just always telling my parents how do I fix it? What can I do to change things? And they were just like, you have to just stand up for yourself. So that's around the time I became, more of a fighter, I guess. But I had so much built up anger, and I had so much attitude, and that's just how it became. I don't know, that just started the whole attitude of Nakaya. Leading up to high school, I was really by myself. I had friends, of course, but I never liked to vent to people or tell people what was going on with me or my problems. I feel like it's so much pressure to just try to tell people my issues when they had their own issues going on. So like I said, I was just kept to myself. Around senior year, I had a great high school thing. I was great all high school. I copped a whole boyfriend or whatever, and we dated for a year, roughly a year. Being in a relationship, because I know I had a friend who wanted me to talk about this, so yeah. Being in a relationship while you're trying to get yourself together and not really knowing who you are really tears you down. You don't really know how to be yourself anymore. I got cheated on, lied to, hurt, all that other stuff. It really stopped my self-confidence, and that's kind of when my depression and anxiety started coming into play, but I wasn't really diagnosed with it. When we broke up, fun fact, when Views by Drake literally came out, that night we broke up. I was just so upset, and I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I didn't even want to get out the house. I was really in a state where I was just I don't even know who I am, and I was so dependent on other people, especially him, so not having him around kind of messed me up a lot. Summer 16, right after I graduated high school, I lost a really good friend of mine, and that's when it all kind of went downhill with my depression and anxiety. August 2016 is when I started college. Within that time, I definitely did not want to go to school. I was so depressed. I wasn't going to classes anymore. Me and my best friend were literally crying every single day. I was just not in it. I just didn't want to be around any of that. I didn't want to be in that environment. I didn't want to be around new people. I just didn't know who I was. More spring 17, that's when I started like meeting my Kennesaw friends and like actually meeting people who had the same interests as me, and meeting people who actually do the same things as I do. It also taught me that like I'm not alone in it. I'm not the only person who goes through things like this. In college, it's so hard to be by yourself when you are going through mental health issues, because a lot of people around college, they go through the same thing. They go through PTSD, OCD, which is all forms of anxiety, but depression and just different type of mental illnesses. Different ways that I kind of coped with it throughout college. Depression wise, I definitely started just going out more, being more open. Try not to be so slumped, because it does come around, and when it comes around, it hits hard. I don't like to go out. I don't like to talk to nobody. I cry. I just can't eat. I'm by myself. I try not to be by myself so often, so that I can kind of just get myself together. To my anxiety, the way I cope with that is usually music or cartoon. There used to be times I used to wake up in the middle of the night and my anxiety would be through the roof. Like, I would cry. I'd be like, Mom, I can't go to school. Like, I just don't know what I'm gonna do about this. So, and not everyone copes the same way either. I didn't take medication, so that's not always an option for people. That's not always what you want to do. Different people have different ways to cope. You can do music, you can sleep if you want, but I always try to keep active. I always try to, keep myself going. And since I grew up by myself, not really being able to talk to people, I wasn't the type to sit there and talk to a counselor. To me personally, if I just keep it to myself and just kind of either talk to like my best friend about it or my mom, because they can kind of help me. But all in all, mental health is really such a serious issue that people don't really talk about, and I don't really know why. I do think that you don't need to hold it in, even though I do. It's good to talk about it. It's good to be open about it, to tell your feelings about it, show your emotions about it, because it doesn't make you a weak person. You're not the only one going through it. You're not belittling yourself by actually telling people, hey, this is what I go through. It's hard, but I'm trying to overcome it. And nobody can sit there and try to validate your feelings either. Nobody can sit there and say, oh, so-and-so feels like this, so she's wrong. You feel like that, and you have every right to feel like that. You're in no way wrong for feeling how you feel ever. And also, mental health does not hit everyone in the same ways. We all have different issues that we go through, whether it's school, relationships, family, friends, anything. Like, it all hits us differently, and we all don't have the same issues either. So just be mindful about things that you say to certain people, or just things you say to people in general. Don't have that mean aura about you and just negativity, because you never know what anyone is truly going through. It's easy to sit there and just say things without people really knowing anything, but that's just what people do, and it is life, and it's unfortunate, but it's just ways that life is, and it sucks. If you ever need to talk to me. Maybe you don't like to talk to your parents, so you just don't have anyone to talk to. Just try. It's so hard, but try. It's one of the hardest things to work on. Even after this video, I'll even be putting different links on the screen, phone numbers, websites, all that stuff for you to talk to if you ever going through anything. If we all just help each other in a way, if we all just talk about it, just all go through it together some type of way. This had to be a serious episode. I needed to make it a really serious thing to talk about, because often people forget it and don't ever want it to be brought up, but that's not happening, okay? Because just because it's June 1st doesn't mean that May wasn't just yesterday. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. That's the end of this oh so serious episode. But in other news, like, subscribe. My ad names will be in the bio. Continue using the hashtag Kaya's Corner to hear anything that you want to know about. My next episode might be something funny. I don't know. Just send your suggestions because I'm ready. I know y'all ready. And in all seriousness, I might just change my episodes to every week now instead of every 2 weeks. It's gonna be so difficult, and I might change the days from Fridays. Probably it's gonna be like Saturday or something, but I'm probably gonna do it every week now. So yes, definitely follow my Twitter and Instagram for different updates about that. But until next time, stay tuned and tune in.
Go Kaya, go Kaya, go Kaya, go Kaya.